Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day to those of you who are celebrating the Father's Day today. I'm putting myself in a very peaceful place. I've noticed that I know that we had a very, very rough, tumultuous month. It feels as if we've come into a place of quiet, there's a good word, spending time, reflection, quiet reflection. I'm in a place of quiet reflection right now. Hi, Julie. You want to join me in a place of quiet reflection? It For such a long time we've come through a really big storm. So there's this moment right now where I see some of you popping in now. We're in this place of, and I'm going to try to take it slow and allow others to gather. Coming out of the storm, you know what it's like to be in a really big storm and you're just getting thrown all over the seas and you can't really get yourself to that you can't relax. You can't be in a place of solitude, a place of just stillness because you feel like you're just getting thrown all over the place. And then after the storm, there's that time. What is that? My hair's doing weird things. It's distracting me. Then after that storm passes, there's a calm. You know, the sea suddenly turns to glass and everything is in stillness. And we're in a place right now. And I hope that you've gotten there. And if you haven't, you're going to be there. We're in a place of after the storm now. That place of whatever happens, it seems to be okay. You know, I think maybe the most important part of that is surrender. So it's not like we can get ourselves to that place without doing a little bit of homework. So you sit there and you think, man, I'm never going to get to that place of peace. Everything's just chaos. Well, you can't get to that place of peace without putting yourself in that place. It means a whole lot of surrendering. It means a lot of letting go. So your ship is so busy flopping all over the sea and the winds are coming and it's just taking it wherever it wants to go and you're just open, it's up and down and it's making you quite seasick and you can't seem to find the time or the energy to really get focused on any one thing because you're just so busy trying to stay afloat. How many of us have been in that? That has been the energy, I'd say, for most of our lives, but really seriously in this past year and down to day by day by day, we're still holding on. We're still in that energy of I've got to create, I've got to make, I've got to do, I've got to do, I've got to do. The do part is the craziest part. Because when we spend a lot of time in that space of thinking that we've got to figure it all out, hi John, we think that we've got to figure it all out. We think that we got to put all the pieces into place. We think that we got to sort it with this crazy mind of ours. And the ego is so busy trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And the way I see the ego is it's like a toddler. It's got all these puzzle pieces, and it's, you know how toddlers, they might be able to figure out how to put one big wooden piece into one space, or, you know, and if they can't get it in there, they'll sit there and they'll keep trying to push it in there, whether it will fit or not. They're going to, until they finally get mad and they throw it, and throw themselves on the floor and have a nice scream fest, oftentimes, because they can't make it work. And most of humanity is stuck in that space of that little toddler that's trying so hard to push pieces of the puzzle together that aren't ready or don't fit. They just don't fit in that space. You can't force it to work. But you will try and try and try until you're exhausted. And when you finally get so tired, maybe you've had to scream it out for a little while. That little child, after a good temper tantrum, that's the time when they just want somebody to hold on to them. They want somebody to just allow them to be still. They might even fall asleep. They're fully relaxed after all of that effort. They get really, really tired. Well, now we're in a space of, me too, I'm in a space of just relaxing. It's not my job. It's not my ego's job to try to put that square peg into the round hole. It's been trying for a long time, many, many lifetimes. And so I think that the way that the universe is coming at us right now is that loving parent that says, I know you've had a good temper. I know you've been trying to make this work for a very long time. And I know that no matter how hard you try to stop this storm from happening, it's still going on all around you. Look around us. We're in this vessel that is being pummeled by all of the crazy energies in the world. You know, you sensitive soul, you're in this physical body, and the whole world is just pummeling. It's just going at you, and you can take it personally. You can sit around and think, wow, this is pretty rough. Why did I sign up for this? And you can go, all right, I'm just going to be there. The best thing I can do in the middle of a storm is to relax. I'm not going to hold on. I'm not going to try to force this vessel of mine to stay afloat in the middle of a horrible hurricane. There's really nothing I can do. The best thing that I can do right now is to let go. Maybe go to sleep for a while. Maybe just allow myself to sit there and let whatever's going to happen, happen. And I feel like we're not just in this one by one, but this is the collective right now. That everything that's going on, if you look at the news, there's a whole lot going on in the world. And if we allow ourselves to really be in it, if we really spend all of our time watching the news and allowing ourselves to experience the fears and all the unrest that are going on in the world, we're really, really getting pummeled. We're like, oh, it's rough. It's rough. Somebody please take me away. Calgon. We're ready to check out. Many souls are checking out right now because it's too difficult. Hi, Janet. Hi, Stefan. It's just too difficult. It feels like it's a whole lot of work, doesn't it? It just feels like, okay, John. It just feels like we're in this hurricane of emotion, this hurricane of energy right now, and we are all energy beings, and we just get knocked all over the place by everyone else's energy. So my suggestion is when you let go, when you stop trying to force those square pegs into the round holes, when you stop holding on with everything you've got to the life rope. There's a chapter in Anchor Light about this. It keeps coming back at me. I could sit here and read it to you perfectly, because I have been through this so many times. And, that book was written within less than a year after Steve died. And I was going through that where I was holding on to everything so tightly. Holding on to the way things used to be. Holding on to who he used to be. Holding on to who I used to be. Holding on all the time. And when I finally said, okay, hands in the air, sister. You can't hold on to those ropes anymore. I mean, most of us will hold on. Our hands are bleeding. we're raw. We're absolutely raw. And we're still holding on for dear life to things or to people that maybe aren't meant to be in our world. And so when we get to the place where I just can't hold on anymore. Yeah, those moments in your life when you're like, I have held on to this for dear life. I've held on to who, this is a really key point here, okay, because it's coming through for somebody or for all of us. Let's see if I can let it roll. We have been holding on so tightly to the us that we thought that we were. All of the details of life, like I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, we've got all these titles. This is my name. We were taught at birth. We were just this perfect little being of light. We didn't actually even have a name yet. We didn't have a social security number. We didn't have a true identity as far as the world was concerned. We just came in as the most powerful part of ourselves we could ever possibly be. In that moment that you entered into the earth, you were so powerful. And then people started saying, you are this and you are that. And as they did that, as they titled and as they put us into little boxes, we gave up our power, little by little by little, sometimes a lot by a lot by a lot, and we forgot who we are. And so we're getting a big reminder from the universe. Let go of all of those titles. Let go of who you think that you are. Let go of the past, those parts of you. If I know I often go to Steve, but it was probably one of my greatest lessons, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. As long as I held him in that place of, this is the Steve that I was married to. As long as I held him in that little box, that little place, and said, excuse me, and said, this is all I want. I just want you back. Because I did for a long time. I was like, I don't want anybody else. I don't want to grow. I don't want anything. I just want my life back the way that it was. I even told them and told him that in the last few weeks of his life. I remember walking in and looking at our wedding picture on the wall, and I picked it up off the wall and I held it up to him and I said, I just want this man back. And he couldn't go back to being that man anymore. And he still can't go back to being that man, and I wouldn't want him to go back to being that man anymore, because now I know, once I let go of my idea of who he was, I was able to allow him to become everything that he is, and he keeps on becoming. He doesn't stop. And he shows all of us what we are capable of. And that also is in the one way that it's the most different, is that he's not just showing us what we're capable of once we pass out of physical form, but he also is showing me what I'm capable of while I'm still in this physical body, because we're in an energy that is very giving, and we don't have to step out of our physical bodies in order to become anymore. We are allowed to experience heaven while we're still here on earth. We can experience that energy of heaven, that overwhelming sense of joy, bliss, love, while still in physical form. So we are more capable now than we ever have been before. That's the word I'm trying to come up with. So it's brand new, it's different, it feels scary, and the ego is still doing the holding on for dear life. That's the full circle. Is you are holding on to this idea, this belief system of who you've been taught that you are. And even if you've allowed yourself to expand and grow, and you're like, no, I've done all the work, I'm this. No, you're not. Let me just tell you, you are nowhere near to what you are capable of becoming. And take that as a compliment. You have barely scraped the surface. I have been working at this and working at it, and I've opened myself up to whatever the universe wants to bring in. And I'm talking to the angels, and I'm doing this healing work, and I'm doing so much, and I keep growing and keep expanding and allowing for messages to come through, and I keep changing all the time, and I'm barely scraping the surface of what I'm capable of. And that's how you are too. No matter how much we do, Steve is no longer in physical form. And he shows me all the time that again, he's grown and he's grown and he's grown and he's grown. Because even though we step out of physical form, we never stop expanding and we never stop growing. There is no limit to what we are capable of. We are limitless beings. Can you hear me on that? You are limitless. And when you hold on for dear life to those things that you believe that you are, when you hold on to those belief systems, they're antiquated. Just because people told you that this is true, just because you decided to believe in a certain type of religion or a certain book or a certain whatever, we are real time now. I'm not going to say things like the Bible is false, because it's not. I find a lot of truth, and I find it a living word often when I read it. If I do read it, I find things will come through differently to me every time I read it. The same with books that are channeled. Anchor Light was a channeled book. Every time you read it, you will find new truths. When people come through with verbal messages that are truly being channeled through the energy of their higher self, or through angels or guides or whoever's on the other side, it's a living word. It comes to you real time. We've learned to stop having, many years we had to go through encyclopedias and go to the library. The only way that we could do a term paper or whatever, we had to go search it out in a book someplace, and we had to read it. And that word was very flat. It just was there. And I read it, and I maybe memorized it, and I wrote about it, and I wrote about it from my egoic self, and it was very flat too. And then we came to a place as a human race where we suddenly seem to have received an upgrade. We have received many upgrades to the point where we're no longer encyclopedias. We are now our own little operating systems, like the internet. People think, the internet is like, you can think the internet's amazing. It was definitely something created by spirit. But please see that as an example of who you are. You are alive. You are a receiving station. You are continuing to expand and to grow. And you know how it used to be computers would take up an entire room and they were very kind of antiquated and clumsy? I remember using DOS programming. I remember using all that crazy stuff. I had a little, what do you call it, 384? I don't even know what it was. But it was something that was, and then I had to do dial up, all that kind of stuff. And it was very antiquated. And now we're like real time. We're like, we ask a question and boom, it's there if we're in receiving mode. There's no more, I gotta go find that answer. I gotta go find somebody. And this is a reminder to me too, thank you. That even though I know what the answer is, even though I've asked a question and I have received, because I was in receiving mode, I received the answer, I still have this need to go to the library, to go to the, I still have this need to go to different places and ask different people and get different opinions and talk, and listen, instead of going, oh, I'm already receiving that answer. I don't need to go ask somebody else because I know the answer already. As a matter of fact, I knew the answer to my question before I ever even asked it. Because we're just that amazing. So, you're learning now to read energy. You're learning to pay attention to your energy. That's how you receive. If you're out there and you suddenly have a question, well, I wonder about this, and then you feel an energy as your answer comes to you, it comes to you in this way of energetically making you feel bliss or love or whatever, you're like, okay, that's an affirmative. And if you ask a question and your energy drops and you're like, ew, I don't feel so good, that's also an answer. Where does your energy tell you to point your true north? Where is it telling you to go? What is it telling you? Because there isn't any real solid, oh, I gotta do this or I gotta do that. But we do have some goals set for ourselves here, don't we? And so if we allow ourselves to keep getting pulled and we're holding on to things or people that are no longer serving us, and we're trying to cling to a place or a space or a thing in any way, and even though it doesn't feel good to us, we continue to cling, then what happens? We get redirected off our path. We get pulled back. It's like this, like I was moving fast, and I was moving, and all of a sudden it felt like I was being pulled back again. And don't think that you're losing anything when that happens. You get pulled back like a bow and arrow. So say you suddenly got misdirected and you went down a different pathway, and you're like, well, everything just kind of went stagnant on me. Everything just stopped. Well, it's not that it stopped, and it's not that you lost anything. You don't lose the growth. You don't lose those things that you've remembered that you're growing into. You don't lose that expansion that you received. But you do get pulled back sometimes into that position of, now if I release that thing that's holding me back, it's going to shoot me like an arrow. Does that make sense? So it's not that those things that are holding you back or those people that are holding you back are actually hurting you, but the length of time that you allow them to hold you back is the length of time that you'll sit there in that holding pattern. And when you finally let go, all of a sudden you will shoot. And sometimes, be forewarned here, sometimes because you've been held back so tightly for so long, when you do shoot, the action's going to come at you so fast that you're going to go, it's going to make your head spin. All of a sudden, everything, your whole world, you release that one thing, and your whole world just goes bonkers. Everything starts flowing. And you're like, hi, Otto. And you're like, what? How did this happen so quickly? What in the world is, hi, Janet? Oh, how am I moving so fast? Because you allowed yourself. You took that. You decided, okay, I'm going to take that. That person's going to really hold me back for a while, but when they let me go, or when I let them go, it should be more like I do the work, I'm then going to be in that place of the bow and arrow where suddenly I'm flying again. And I'm really flying. And I can go as high or as fast as I choose to go. And at that point, you're going to be just fasten your seatbelt, babe. Just fasten your seatbelt, because things are really going to take off for you. So basically what they're giving us is there's no real right or wrong when it comes to these things. We can be held back. Playground of Father's Day. Yes, Otto. Playground of Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. We can allow ourselves to be pulled back as far as we want to. We can allow ourselves to sit in that holding pattern. But the message that I'm getting, and this is personal for me, is that I know that I came here, that I'm going to be physical for a certain time frame. And so if I really want to make the progress that I've set myself up for, if I really want my soul to receive the advancement while I'm still in physical form, then I'm going to have to allow myself to let go and to not even put any fear in the idea of, okay, where's it going to go if I let go? See, that's where we've run into trouble. I'm afraid to let go. If you're afraid to let go, you need to let go. Fear should not be something that holds us back ever anymore. We are moving out of fear. So anything that is fear-based is old and antiquated, and you need to let go of it. And so sometimes you don't even realize that it's the fear that's holding you back. Sometimes we're just doing stuff and we think, nah, for whatever reason, we think that we're just being smart, or, this is the wise decision. This is what society teaches me to do. This is what I should do. Does that make it necessarily spiritually the best thing for you to do? Does it really allow for that growth potential that you came here for? Or are you just trying to follow the rules of the planet Earth? Spend some time being quiet. I couldn't tell you the answer to that. You can tell you the answer to that, because you have a direct connection. You have your very high-speed internet connection to the other side, to your higher self. And your higher self will help you to see the right path if you're willing to listen. So, is ego in the driver's seat here, or is your higher self in the driver's seat? That's the question that you can ask yourself. Hold on. Very dried out. So, that is the biggest. It's a really powerful message, I think, and a very fast one. It's one that I have to face myself, and one that oftentimes I have to relearn, because I really feel like oftentimes, hi Wendy, it's nice to see you. I feel like oftentimes we have to keep going through these patterns, these different ways. Our soul will keep giving us the same lessons, and we're like, why am I going through this again? And every time I get that person out of my life, someone else comes in and they just kind of keep bringing me the same lesson over and over again? Because there's something in that for me. My soul needed that. My soul needed to learn from that. I'm not being punished. Nobody's trying to hold me back except for me. And when I am aware, when I finally wake up to the idea that I am the one that's putting myself through the same lesson over and over again, then I can say, okay, mission accomplished. I am ready to move forward. I don't want to hold myself back anymore. Like I said, you're in control. You're in the driver's seat. But listening to the higher self as you're driving that car, allowing that higher self to come in and bring some clarity into the situation would be very, very beneficial to you. Always. You're on your vacation. Very good, Wendy. I'm glad that you're getting a vacation. It's nice to see your face. So, how does that feel to you? Does it feel like taking the control back, just saying, you know what, I'm the one? It's a little scary, because we would like to be able to blame it on somebody else when our lives get kind of weird, crazy. It's nobody else's fault but our own. We're the ones that allow ourselves to be in a holding pattern. We're the ones that allow ourselves to repeat lessons. We're the ones that keep on going through these things so that we can fully cement them within that soul place, so that we don't have to go through it again. Hi, Rosalind. Good morning. I got a speeding ticket. Hold on, this feels important. I got a speeding ticket yesterday. Universe is telling me to slow down. Time to go within, to be more aware of protecting versus extending. Very good. That's a very good lesson. It's no fun to get it, but it's a good lesson. Slow down. Slow down. I spend a lot of time with a certain person who has no idea how to slow down. And it's in me now. I'm in this place of, I need to slow down. Man, when I want to go out into the woods, I don't want to climb at top speed all the way to the top of the mountain just to say that I got there. I'm not in this to get to the destination before anyone else. I'm in this to enjoy the ride, right? So pay attention to that lesson too, Rosalind, is maybe The universe is trying to tell you to slow down and enjoy the ride a little bit. What are you missing while you're going so fast? The world is a blur. It's like going by so fast, and our time is really changing on us. And if we don't really pay attention, slow down, watch that sunset. Here's the thing: is that we are more in control than we think that we are. Our egoic self will just say, well, it's just time and it just happens. But that's not true. Your perception of time is what creates the experience that you're having. So if you are perceiving that you don't have enough time to get to where you need to go, if you're perceiving that you don't have enough time to do things like stop for the sunset, talk to the birds, go hug a tree, if you perceive that you don't have time to do those things, you don't have time to do those things. But if you perceive that, you're driving down the road and you've got someplace that you need to be, and suddenly you're passing by this beautiful lake and the sun is setting down over the lake, and you decide, doesn't matter what else is going on, I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to stop. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow my whole world down. I'm going to watch that sun go down. Suddenly it's like you have so much more time than you thought you did. Somehow you still get to where you're supposed to go, and you're there just on time. And you could have been going 90 miles an hour in your car and never stopped and been late for it, but you stopped and took 3 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever and watched that sun go down, and you renewed your soul and you refreshed yourself, and then you felt better. And the funny thing is it doesn't even matter anymore if you're late. It's better than any kind of drug there is out there. Because suddenly you're calm and you're living. You're really living. You're really enjoying every moment of your existence. And in that time, in that space is a better thing. In that space of stillness, the rest of it just seems to melt away. It's not so important that I get there in time anymore. Maybe I was rushing home because there was going to be something on the internet that I thought my soul was going to learn from that. And it's really important that I get there really fast, because if I don't get there, I'm going to miss out on that meditation. I'm going to miss out on this. And all of a sudden, and you're sitting there getting all stressed out about it. And what happened? Your soul was back there someplace wanting to watch the sunset. What you needed was the stillness. What you needed was to be alone with yourself so you could hear your own answers within you. Instead of being worried about missing that reading or that whatever that is with someone else. Maybe the universe is trying to tell us to stop and listen and hear our own answers. How about that? Important. It's important to remember those things more and more and more, because we are in a place of solitary togetherness. It keeps coming to me. It's so important for us to remember the connections that we have with each other, and to remember that we came here to have this solitary experience, and in that place of solitude I find everything and everyone. And it sounds like a total conundrum, doesn't it? I don't find all my answers when I'm in a big gathering of people. I find my answers when I'm alone, out walking through the trees, or sitting by the water, being still with my own self. We're being encouraged to form a better, a more cohesive connection to our own higher selves. And the other relationships that are out there in our world, they're going to still be there, and they're going to actually be stronger, because we are working within our own selves first. That's what creates better, easier, more secure connections around us. Does that make sense? It's so important. Is my internet connection? It could be my internet connection, John, because it looks like it's coming and going and doing its little funny little thing again. Please, anyone else that's having a hard time hearing me or whatever, please let me know. Because it's all on, but my internet loves to play games with me. Hi, Lisa. I could take you all outside someplace and I'd probably get a better connection. Sometimes I think it's this one place that I sit that causes the problem. So let me know if you can't hear me, please. Because I don't want to start meditation until we're someplace where we can all hear. So you may have to just follow me downstairs. You're coming through okay for me. It looks like I'm okay. So feeling that connectedness with those that have gathered. And first, I want you to feel that connectedness with your own higher self, the most beautiful part of you that is always connected to the other side. That's where your answers come from. We can all, when we get in tune with each other, we can create a beautiful connection where we feel and sense one another's emotions, where we feel and sense the different nuances, the injuries, the pains, the goodness too in one another. We can feel each other's connectivity. And first, we need to learn how to connect to our own higher selves, because once you foster a beautiful connection to your higher self, that's where you find the connectivity to those around you. That makes sense? So many times people dive in and want that connectivity to someone else. They're like, I'm connecting to your energy right now. We can't really do that until we put ourselves online. And we put ourselves online by connecting to, that's our internet connection. Our internet connection comes through our higher self, and then our higher selves are able to connect with one another with permission. And then we have this beautiful highway where we can feel each other's connectivity. Does that make sense? So that is the solitary connectedness. Make sense? Connect to you first and practice with that. You connect to you. Let's do that for a minute. We're getting the push to do that if you want to. Anybody wants to learn more about that, you just go ahead and get your feet planted so that you're well grounded. Tell your body to ground. See your energy move down into your feet. So you are an energy being. When I say that, I actually see my energy go, okay, down she goes, down into the feet. And as you get down there into your feet, you feel those roots go deep, deep, deep into the earth. It's beautiful. When you open to your higher self is pure energy. The most amazing, unconditional, there's nothing like your higher self. There's nobody on this planet that you can connect to, that you will feel more love and security from than your own higher self. I know we've been trying for a very long time to find somebody else, a human being to connect to. But first, you connect to you. That's where it comes from. You connect to you first, because we all, at the core of who we are, come from oneness, right? So at the core of who we are, if we want to connect with each other, we got to connect in to oneness first. So you're connecting in. So feel yourself. Just imagine that you've got a plug. You're going to take it from here. Take it down from your heart. It's like a big extension cord. And you take it and you just pull it out and you're going to plug yourself in. Right? It's about 3 feet over your head. It's not far. And you plug yourself right into everything that ever was or ever will be, or everything. Everything. That's where your higher self is. So plug yourself in and create that beautiful cord right here, that connection to your truth. Feel what that feels like. Take a second. Plugged in. Feels nice, doesn't it? That is true, John. Our own energy is the most beautiful, perfect energy there is. We have to find that first before we find that in other people. So important. So once you're fully connected, you'll feel it. All of a sudden, there's like a highway of love flowing through you. You just sit there for a minute and let that connection, let your higher self, invite your higher self. Invite that higher self to come right in that space with you. So we have this beautiful healing bubble. Archangel Michael is protecting us, and you have plugged yourself into the other side. And now through that cord comes this beautiful energy. And it comes down right into the center of you. Just like a pool, just lands right in that center gently. Nice and easy. I want you to sit there and float in that energy. The energy that is you. Complete stillness. Solitude. And just breathe nice and easy up and down your spine. Just allowing that energy to go through every part of you, every one of your cells, reminding you that you are this perfect being of energy that can go anywhere. You can be in any time, you can be in any place, just by focusing on it. Imagine where it is that you'd like to go today. And just sit in that place for a few minutes. Let your higher self take you. Breathe. So beautiful. I can feel you going online. You gotta know that sense of, oh, I'm connected. And as you're sitting there, Archangel Raphael is coming into your physical, allowing for Archangel Raphael, if you'd like healing, say yes. Amongst royalty, all of your beautiful higher selves, you're all just kings and queens. Royal energy, the most amazing energy of love. Yes, John, imagine being in a bubble of your own energy and being able to go anywhere in the universe you want. Yeah, don't play small. You don't have to stay here on planet Earth. Go to another solar system if you'd like. You can go sit on the moon. Your higher self is not physical and does not need to be concerned with breathing or having water or anything physical. So as you allow your higher self to come in, you think, okay, I want to go sit on the moon. Who wants to go sit on the moon with me? Let's go. Take a big breath. Just imagine now. Smell. Listen. It's so silent on the moon. There's no noise there. It's so quiet. Feel. What does it feel like? What does it look like to sit there? See the planet Earth from so far away. How beautiful. I'm so glad you joined me here. Now, if you want to, you can jump to another planet. You can fly around the moon a few times. Let your soul soar for a little while. Our souls get so tired of being locked up. We're always trying to put them in a box. We don't want to let our souls fly. Why? Why do we hold ourselves back? So each one of you is receiving a beautiful clearing of your energy fields, if you're so willing. Just getting you spinning, spinning, spinning all of your chakra centers, creating a more habitable environment for your higher self. They're creating this beautiful space inside of you where the energy just flows nice and easy. So all of those chakra centers all the way through are being cleared, cleared, cleared. You can feel that energy begin to move up your spine. It just brings a sense of love and peace, bliss, throwing off any blocks, cords, attachments, any earthbound spirits. We're asking Archangel Michael to clear all of that negativity away from you, crossing over any spirits that need crossing, letting you feel just you today. You're not carrying anybody else's energy. It is only you. Does that feel nice? We're severing any cords, even our children or loved ones. As we sever those cords, we're allowing for them to all have their own spiritual experience here. We cut those cords with love, letting them go out and have their own adventure. Beautiful. want you to start to come back down from the moon if you'd like. You don't have to come out of it right yet if you want to fly around a couple of mountains or whatever you'd like to do on the way. Very good, Lisa. I'm glad you're here. Just relax. Let yourself fly. Spread those big old wings out. Just feel them as you glide through the sky with me. You can go over and under, around, through trees, over the ocean. You scoop down over the ocean and you let yourself just feel that water spray up on your face. Doesn't that feel good? This is what it is. Just be completely free today. Imagine yourself flying over the water. I don't see one of you, I see two. I see you, that egoic self of yours, your personality, and I see your higher self, the most amazing, gorgeous part of you. If you could see you, wow, supermodel time. In pure power, just nothing but love and pure power, and you're holding hands as you fly. Your higher self showing you things like you've never seen before. Showing you what you're capable of. You are never alone. You are never alone. Now I want you to pull that higher self back in. Appear to be just one again. You are never all by yourself. Pull that higher self into you as you fly over the water, feeling that power, that solitary connectedness. All of us together. That beautiful higher self coming online. And I see a distant sunset, and I want us to all fly to it. There's a beautiful sandy beach, and as you fly in, I want your feet to touch down on that sand, warm and comforting. There's some trees, banana trees or pineapple trees, whatever kind of fruit you like. Go find yourself a quiet place, coconut. Maybe I'm going to pop a coconut and I'm going to stick a straw right in it and drink the coconut water. Go find yourself a quiet place and let's just sit down for a minute and be still. Angels are finishing up their work. They're stepping back. This is what alignment feels like. When your egoic self and your higher self come into perfect alignment, there is peace. All nice and clear, perfectly aligned. Asking Archangel Michael to come now to each one of you, wrapping you in a big bubble of protection today as you go about your day. Wrapping you right up, thanking the angels for this beautiful experience. I'm thanking each one of you for joining me, and I'm thanking your higher selves for showing up. Thanking you for asking them to show up. Well done. Thank you to Archangel Raphael for the healing and Archangel Michael for all the work, for bringing in your team of angels, for bringing in those beautiful spirit guides and loved ones, your ancestors. What a beautiful entourage to join us. Thank you so much. I have such a peace. I appreciate you guys, truly. John planted a fig tree on the moon. Nothing like a good fig. I love you too, Lisa. Please take good care of yourselves today. I love you guys. Bring yourselves fully back into awareness before you decide to go, before you're operating any heavy equipment. Like feel your feet and feel the warmth come back up into your body, pulling those roots back up in, allowing for your body to come back into full alignment, full wakefulness, coming back out so that you're safe to drive again. Take good care of yourselves, guys. I love you so much. Hi, Rebecca. Go back and watch. We're getting ready to pop off, but I appreciate you so much for popping in. Hope that you'll go back and watch the recording and allow yourself that quiet time, the time to spend with your higher self. Take good care of yourselves today, guys. I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon will be Silent Mystics. We're already back to Monday, so I look forward to seeing you guys. Take good care for now. Bye.